where is it? Here? Is this it? Hello there, and welcome to this quite famous gallery here. Before we begin, you're here for the night tour. Right, I am going to be the guest curator here, and I'm going to be taking you around. There's something with the night tours, I believe that they require everyone, so you to be wearing a pair of headphones. So if you're wearing these headphones and you hear everything I have to say, I have my own microphone with me and I can talk directly to you. This is just in case there are other people around and you don't want to hear all the other noise, but because it's quite late, you see, you won't have any of that whatsoever, so we should be pretty fine. But just to keep the experience going of this gallery, I just require you to take these headphones and put them on. So if I can guess that for you, okay, so they only appear to put out one pair of headphones here. I assume it's just going to be you and me in this tour. So how about that I just pop these headphones on you and then with you. Okay, just get a bit closer. Okay. Does that fit in? Does that fit nicely? So hopefully you will be able to hear everything I have to say, but you hear it even clearer, with more clarity. Okay, so I have here with me what the gallery has provided, and can you hear me a little bit better now? Okay, that's great. So nod your head. You appear not to be nodding your head, but you do look a little bit like a simpleton, so I shouldn't worry about that, but you will be able to hear my voice and be a little bit clearer as we go on this tour, but also it'll be a lot easier for you to immerse in this tour. Okay, so I will keep talking with my microphone here. This will help you stay nice and informed and relaxed through the whole thing, like I'm almost speaking directly to you. But of course I am, because you are the only person here in this tour of this gallery here. I know this area is an exceptionally well thought after area and full of lots of important people, which you don't look like one at all. This particular exhibition here has had many people falling asleep. They find it a relaxing place when they come down here, and they just enjoy what would you say, the relaxation, the relaxing vibes of this museum of gallery of exquisite pieces has to offer as they sit here and ponder and all those things. So I shall be taking around. Is there not going to be anyone else here? So it's literally just going to be me and our friend here. Right, as long as you're okay with that. Right, okay, yes. So I haven't been here on this particular tour, like I said, in quite some time, so it's all going to be a little bit of a mystery for me, and I don't really know what to expect. I'm hoping that they've got some new items here, but I will try and explain them to you and interact with these items with you as best as possible. So hopefully that you will leave this place enlightened. You will have a great time, and you will take in the atmosphere of the night here at the gallery. Okay, so shall we begin with that, or shall we wait for anyone else? No, yes, no, I'm not going to wait for anybody else. You made it here on time. I'm sure you would like to go and have your tour now. So is there any particular type of art that you like? gallery? Is there anything that you prefer just before we begin this tour? Right. Okay. So fine art and interesting pieces. That's a very broad spectrum that you have just selected there, but hopefully this gallery will be full of all of these interesting pieces. Now, being an expert in art, I should be able to tell everything to you, and you will hopefully feel enlightened and soak in all of the goodness that this gallery has to offer. So we're looking for interesting and relaxing pieces. Okay, so what I will do is take you around personally and really inspect all the pieces of art and see how well educated you probably profess yourself to be. Might I say that someone like you probably wouldn't fully appreciate what you're about to see or know much about it, and me being the expert person here at this gallery, yes, curating, I will only merely need to see the piece and know everything about it, so that differentiate between your intelligence and mine. There appears to be quite a substantial difference in there. So yes, I believe, yeah, so they've had to revamp a little bit here and expect new fantastic pieces here. This is notorious for housing all the amazing pieces of art that has been collected in this area for lords and ladies and gentlemen and everyone to enjoy, except people like you, of course. Okay, so why don't we go and make ourselves scarce from here, and we will begin the tour. Okay, so why don't we go? You just follow me now, and we go from room to room. Right. Okay, let's head on. So our first piece is quite an extraordinary piece, I'm told, and it's been here in the gallery quite new. Oh dear Lord, what is this? Is this some kind of joke here at the moment? This is not a piece of art here. I was expecting a piece of fine art. We appear to have a toilet roll here on display at the gallery. I'm not quite sure what it is doing there at the moment. It appears that the toilet has made a bit of a mistake. Whoever's doing the toilet seems to put the toilet paper here. This is something I would say that's probably something you would have done yourself. Though I think actually that you've been with me, that is, it can't have been you. So I'm not quite sure why this is here displayed like this. I mean, this is the exhibit, the lights and everything is here on display. It's in this room. Dude, I don't quite know what's going on. They assured me that there would be some really great pieces of thought-provoking art in this gallery, so I naturally assumed that it was going to be fine art, but my fear is that this is actually contemporary art, and something which I know absolutely nothing about and detest on every singular level, a bit like having to take you around here at the moment. My goodness, so I don't really know what to say here, except I'm going to have to try and think of something to talk about for this exhibit. I hope this is just the first one, not any others. So, I mean, what can I say? I mean, can I just put my wire here? Okay. My goodness, so what we appear to have here is as I probably suspect it is, this is a toilet roll, and it's not even designed to look like a toilet roll. It is a toilet roll. So, as you can expect from a toilet roll, which you would probably use for going to the toilet, that this toilet roll is made of paper, and there's plenty of it there as well. So I can only imagine that some artistic genius thought that this symbolizes something, that this is of great importance, or something like that. This toilet roll here is really important, and there's some true meaning behind it, when in fact it's actually just a toilet roll. I mean, as I touch it here, it feels just like a toilet roll. It sounds just like a toilet roll. And there I ruined this, what I can only imagine took hours to put together this display. There I ruined it a little bit. Can you hear that? Yes, well, let's try a little bit more. So you hear that? Yes, it sounds just like a toilet roll would sound. So, in fact, what can I say about this particular piece that is on here displayed in this gallery? If I was to give you my expertise, I would say that this has been put together by an artist with great talent and dexterity, and putting together something like this must have taken absolutely hours of every single moment of every single day, studying the form and the format in order to create this piece. But of course, if I said that, then I would be lying through my teeth. So all I can say here, that this is just a complete piece of garbage, and I don't know why it is on display in this gallery. I was assured that whoever was taking over this gallery for this exhibition was someone who had good taste, but in turn they appeared to be someone who I guessed would have been something a little bit like yourself. Yes, let's study this little piece a little bit further, shall we? So, as suspected, it is very much a disappointing piece of art, and what a terrible start to this gallery. So, that before you here at the moment is a toilet roll for some reason. Okay, so let's move on to the next room, shall we? Right. So in here we have what amounts to be oh my goodness, what do we have here? What amounts to be no doubt a practical joke. What I'm seeing here on the table is in fact a shoe. There is literally a shoe on this table at the moment in this room, in this iconic art gallery. Used to be filled with fantastic pieces and paintings and artistic artifacts, and now we have been subjected to what looks to be a smelly, dirty, used shoe, no doubt of the artist who created the toilet roll piece. So I'm going to try and do what I am meant to be doing here on the tour, is to explain to you what all about this piece. So as art is its own interpretation, so allow me to interpret what I am seeing here. Okay, so in order to check that it is a shoe, I know we're probably not allowed to touch this piece, but why not? Let's touch it anyway. So let's see if it is actually a real shoe. Now we'll just pop you in there. So, as you can probably tell, that sounds exceptionally like a shoe in there. That's because it is a shoe. Now, I don't want to get this too close to my mouth because it's probably been used already and very unhygienic. Though this shoe here appears to just be a shoe. So, what can I tell you about this particular shoe here that is on display at this gallery? Okay, so this is a shoe, I said a workman's shoe, used for doing dirty jobs, or perhaps a little bit of hiking or something like that. It's not steel toe cap, so then I would assume that it is just a normal shoe. Okay, so this is, I suppose, what would be considered as a slightly fashionable shoe then. Okay, so I must not tell anyone that we are touching the exhibit here, and no doubt this shoe costs quite some amount of money, tens of thousands, if not hundreds, providing that there of course is great meaning behind this shoe. So let us try and find this great meaning behind this shoe. So if you look deeper into this shoe, I think you will find that there is a lot more than just a shoe, of course. This heel here indicates to me that you've got to think in the mind of a contemporary artist. So this heel shows and indicates struggle. There appears to be a lot of texture and bumps, which of course signifies the bumps along the journey that the wearer wears and the path that he goes on. So the bumps are of course the bumps that he would experience in life. It is made from a rubbery texture there. It's quite hard, meaning that this person is quite hard inside and has a hard interior. Okay, so that would be from the heel of the shoe. Now if we go over a little bit on the top here, you will notice that this particular shoe has got quite a soft top, so no doubt there's a softer side to this person here. There's a soft touch, so to speak, and that is a quite contrast to the heel of this particular shoe here. So already contradicting philosophies there. Okay, and then we have the lace. The lace, no doubt, signifies not that it's just a normal plain shoe, but all the twists and turns that are encountered in life. So all of the choices we make as indicated in all of these holes in here, and each piece of string and that goes through there, and the lace, we'd say lace actually, because it is in fact a shoe. Each hole signifies a pathway that the intended wearer has been on. So in fact this is a person, shall we say, if I was to guess, and if you could just hear again. What we are doing is adding hundreds of thousands of pounds onto this contemporary piece, and these are the footsteps of the many people that wear shoes like this. As of course they walk the path of life. Now what a sentimental and thought-provoking piece of garbage that was, and something no doubt a contemporary artist would have explained to you. So therefore, because I have explained that to you, this is now worth £200,000 at least. So you could see the great importance of this piece for this gallery at the moment. So let us leave this piece be and see what amazing creation awaits us in the next room, which of course is not fine art, right? So you just continue to follow me through here. Yes, as expected. What have we got here now? We appear to have some bananas here and a fruit bowl, and I'm not surprised with what we have seen so far that we have this here on display here at this gallery. So what I hoped to do at this point was obviously make you thrilled with passionate talk about these fine art pieces and the inspirational artwork that used to be in this gallery that has been put away at the moment to make way for this terrible display. So once again, let us enforce upon me to tell you about this contemporary piece of art here in this gallery. I expect this sort of thing from the Tate, and not so much here. So what we have here, upon a close inspection here, we have some bananas along there. Okay, so they're not even model bananas or anything like that with grooves in them to make them look ultra realistic. They are in fact just a pair of bananas. So they no doubt will be going off in any point soon, we hope. Then we have an orange here, and it appears to be 3 of them. No doubt there's great meaning in this orange here, so we can try and think of something there. And then the artist here has gone for the banana motif again, so this bunch of bananas is a little bit greener than the yellow bananas, so I'm sure, of course, once again there is some sort of great meaning in there. But have a listen to these bananas, they're quite extraordinary. Yes, really is quite fascinating. And then to finish off this magnificent piece, we have here a lemon. Not a lemon, of course it's not a lemon, it is a melon. And I probably had to explain that to you, because you'd probably believe me, wouldn't you? So this is just a lemon with the actual item of location in which it was purchased for probably nothing, and now is worth a great deal of money here in this gallery. And then we have some other things which looks like the artist forgot what was actually in this fruit bowl, and now it is encased in this metallic bowl here. Have a good listen. So the task falls upon me once again to try and understand what is actually going on here. What I assume is as one gets into the mindset of a contemporary artist is that right here, of course, this is a troubled landscape. Very troubled landscape in what we're seeing here. I assume that this bowl here, with all its cracks and crevices, signifies earth, and quite a troubled one, to say the least. With all of the things inside at the moment, there's a lot of things in there, and all of this earthly stuff is causing these cracks in the bowl. So let's say that the banana that represents mankind, and of course it's just a banana, but a contemporary artist, this is everything. This is importance. This is the piece, the glue, the adhesive that keeps this story together. Okay, so these bananas are the humans, and I would say this would be the waste or carbon dioxide in which us as humans have created, and now it is filling up this fragile bowl here. But we also have these oranges here as well, and this I would assume would signify waste, and the waste in which it's created. But we don't just have one orange, we have several oranges in here, and of course it sounds and looks and even quite frankly smells deliciously like an orange. That no doubt signifies the garbage waste, plastic waste, and then other waste there, and then this slightly gone off one is all the food waste. Of course, this is represent all the food waste, and if you add all of these pieces of delicious smelling fruit into this bowl, then we see that this fragile bowl starts to get cracks in it. Okay. And of course it is the bowl which is keeping all of this together. So, but we cannot fear about that, because this artist is trying to tell us that including all of these things into the bowl, that this is still quite a hard and sturdy bowl. It's resilient. There's a lot of resilience in there, and it can handle these things. But if we're not careful, then of course then there will be more cracks in the bowl. But as you notice the shapes in these bowls. Well, these are what I would assume were cut in them before this bowl was shaped mindlessly and without uniform. But no doubt the artist believes that every single shape here has been tirelessly carved to represent some meaning. So 5 corners there in that little arrow-looking shape could represent 5 different places, important places that we, as lovers of these creations in contemporary art, are there to speculate. Of course, we are spectators. Forgive me, and we are here to try and understand the artist's piece. I know, yes, you can really send you to sleep. This type of moribund discussion, I know. So if you ponder off and don't feel upset or obliged that you need to continue listening to this, because it's making me feel quite sleepy inside as well. But this, I assume, is what the artist is believe to be Earth and all the living things in it. And I think that's literally the maximum amount of information and speculation you can do with just a bowl of fruit. At the end of the day, it is a bowl of fruit, so really just have a listen of this fruit. So I hope you got a good listen to that, because that is just a bowl of fruit. So really it was another disgraceful, terrible exhibition here, which was once again has ruined a really nice painting which I knew that was actually displayed here, and I could have told you a lot about. But yes, This is absolutely disgraceful so far for this gallery, but let us continue for the sake of getting through this magnificent piece of terrible, disastrous art. Right, so as we descend from the fruit bowl disaster room, as we ascend in what appears to be another room, we have something on display here. Could be a nice painting or something like that, something spectacular. I dare not even look at it yet, purely because I think I'm trying to preserve the moment and think this could be something good. But as I take a look now to explain to you what it is, my goodness gracious me, what on earth is being presented here in this particular room now? My goodness, this is an absolute disaster of a gallery. I have no idea what this is meant to represent. I was hoping there might have actually been a painting here in which to talk to you about, something cleverly created by an artist with actual talent, and instead we appear to have got another contemporary piece of some God knows what on earth it is and what it's actually doing here. There appears to be a piece of the paper lying down here. There could be two reasons for this. Let's check that it is paper. Yes, that is paper. One reason is that the artist forgot to take the piece of paper and left one behind by mistake, which is probably what I would assume that this particular artist did for this particular piece here. The other pieces, of course, that has been left there for a reason. And for some reason there is a piece of paper which has just been left as part of this design, and all of this is collectively a piece together. So using my artistic knowledge, the reason why I've been brought here, what I thought I was going to be talking about, once again I'm going to have to explain this to you a little bit and see what we can make of this piece here. Okay, so what this shows to me is this particular artist here has got no particular talent whatsoever. They have in fact drawn a sort of stick figure which you would expect from a toddler or someone of that age to create, and yet this artist has managed to get his stick man on a gallery. So what this tells me is this particular person here is in fact jumping down, indicated by the very simplistic lines, I assume, of movement, and this is rushing down, being thrusted upon the sky there. So without any imagination or effort, this artist has seamlessly created this piece here in very minimalistic lines here at the top, and as we could just follow them down there. You can easily tell that this individual here is somewhat jumping down from something from a high level, and is no doubt about to land on this piece of paper here. This is meant to indicate, this has probably been put here for a reason, to indicate the height in which the person is falling. So they are falling down for what we assume is probably something very philosophical, to do with the human nature, or something deep in thought that this contemporary artist has thought about, and this artist is falling all the way down to land on this particular piece of paper here. So in fact this stick man is going to be released onto this paper here. So let's just try and improve this particular piece here. If we can just slightly adapt it to make it actually go with what is actually being displayed here, and I believe scrunching it all up is the appropriate path to take for this particular piece of art. So, in fact, what I have created there is less of a mess. I have created a piece of artwork which, of course, would be scrunched up and then thrown into the bin where it all belongs. This artist has also appeared to have put some sort of lettering in here as well. Let's see what it has to say. Happy 10 years channel anniversary. And there appears to be an S in there when there shouldn't be. FredsVoice. I don't quite know what that means here, and I don't know why it's been presented here in this gallery. Perhaps this FredsVoice has had 10 years of something, whatever he does, 10 years of creating something. And this is his anniversary, so in fact, where the lines could be indicating that this stick man is falling down here. Okay, falling down from the top, the lines could also have a secret inner meaning, one which we must study a little bit further here, is that the hands indicate that they have quickly been raised there as well in celebration of what perhaps it could be this anniversary of FredsVoice of 10 years of, let's just say, creating whatever FredsVoice creates. That's a decade of creations that this stick figure has been doing. So this person could have been falling down, and falling down to the ground and saying, hello there, or something like that. Or this particular piece could also be raising his hands in joy as the celebrations of 10 years proceed. So there are a couple of interpretations there which can be made from this stick figure. I'm sure many people, probably no one who would visit this gallery would look for hidden meanings, and I'm sure there could be a hidden meaning in there, or something in there, hidden meaning in there. You might be able to hear the hidden meanings. Tons and plenty of hidden meanings in there, and one that we will never actually quite know unless you spoke to the artist, who of course has no doubt put this together within minutes, not even that, and has received a great check in order to have his artwork displayed here at this very notoriously reputable art gallery. So more I even stare at this painting, or dare I say painting, this doodle, which belongs in the bin really, the more of course it is going up in value, but the more I detest every single piece of its being there, and of course almost aligned with me having to do this tour view here as well. So there are a lot of hidden secrets, and if one is to study the great mystery of it all, I'm sure that you'll be able to stare at this as long as possible and see these hidden meanings. But for me, it is simply a stick man on a piece of paper, and I believe that is the sound which should be made for this particular piece of paper here. So that is once again very disappointing for this room, and I think for us, I don't believe there's actually going to be anything worth talking about in any of these rooms. So I'd say what we will probably do now is do a quick speed through of these rooms with these pieces, just to see what the last pieces are in there. This has been put together by some absolute imbecile and or many of them as well. And let's speed through this gallery because we need to get out of here, and that appears to be the only way out at the moment. So why don't we get through this next bunch? And I'm not quite sure what to make of all this so far, but this is not the fine art that we intended. Okay, let's head on through with haste. My current disposition here at the moment is one of great disappointment, so as we quickly rush through this so we actually have a natural form here. We have a quick flower pot here with flowers, and so no doubt the artist has run out of ideas and head straight to the florist to put this particular piece together. So let's have a listen to it and check that it is real plant. I expect it probably is. Yes, it appears to be a flower in a flower pot. Another great disappointment. Let's move on swiftly to the next room. I see something here in the distance. It looks like it could be something of vague interest, and effort might have been actually placed into this particular piece. So what we're seeing in front is a big lion, and this actually looks quite good, and this seems to be carved, and not just out of clay or something, but including natural forms. But going by what we've seen so far, I can only assume that this is a vacuum formed, some sort of plastic something. Yes, another utter disappointment, and they've probably just bought in the local shop here. Just approaching this room, what we got here, though, we've done the bananas already. Let's move swiftly on. Just as expected, our final room here, we appear to have presented in front of us the artist's serial. So I can only imagine that the artist was actually probably in a little bit of a rush putting this together. So you'd probably be familiar with all these little things here. And I expect you probably cook. I have people cooking for me, and so I don't know if this is how you'd store them, but they all contain something very different, and we'll give them the old realistic test as well and see if there's actually anything created from scratch in here, not actually just put in and bought from something. So if we would find a hidden meaning in this last exhibit here, we would say someone ran out of ideas and just placed some random things in here, and now we are meant to speculate what's actually in there. So this probably has no relevance to this gallery whatsoever. User in this gallery here dates back to I don't know how long and contains such magnificent pieces of art from talented people, and now has been subjected to this absolute nonsense and rubbish. Okay, so let's have a listen and see what we can find, if we can find any hidden meanings in here. Okay, so let's get this first one open here. So it appears to be something I would say is sand. Sounds by nature, but what I think it is inside is sesame seeds, as I could smell. It is in fact, yes, sesame seeds. So let's pop you in there and you can have a good listen. So did that sound like sesame? Because it looks like sesame seed. We just open up another one and see what they've actually got in here. Let's just disrupt this awful display here. So yes, as suspected, it's probably the artist's breakfast. Probably forgot to eat all of these things, and that's where he came up, or she came up with no knowledge or imagination of what to do here. So let's pop you in there. So, as we try to work out the great mystery with this piece, I don't think there's actually that much to work out, apart from the artist has got some jars and filled it up with probably items and have in their kitchen. So we think we'll waste no brain cells with this, thinking too deeply into it. So we have some beans in there with something and something else in there, which makes a lot of sound in there. So there's a lot of sounds to be made with these pieces, but anything else I'm not quite sure. It's just a complete load of rubbish here. So I think that probably concludes this abysmal display of contemporary art, which has been tarnished this wonderful place in our intelligence here, and maybe not so much yours, as you looked quite sleepy throughout. So I don't think I could stand it in here too much longer. So let's go back to the entrance, where we will find the exit, and make a swift exit. And I'll take this piece of exhibit here and eat it as we head out. Right. Well, I don't quite know what to say here. I'm quite speechless at how shockingly awful this place has become. And it no doubt has been built and revamped to please the likes of people like you. What an abysmal representation of art, if you can even call it art. I would not even call it art. The majority of that I would call garbage and random things that probably the likes of you would use on a daily basis. So I shouldn't worry about us even touching any of the pieces there. I'm sure it's all trash and going to be and put straight in the garbage anyway. That's exactly what I would like to do with this whole place, and I think this is probably going to be my last curating here at the gallery, as that seems to have shocked even someone like me. I was looking forward to seeing some great fine art and appreciate all those fascinating things. Instead we got a lot of crap, which I believe probably you own every single item that we saw in that gallery. Yes, so really, I hope you found the tour relaxing. Sleepy or something. I would have been if it was abysmally boring and mundane. The whole tour was quite moribund, so I shouldn't have expected much there. Really, hopefully that you managed to sleep through that, and yes, I'd like to think that I did this establishment, this fine establishment, justice. It just so happens that the things in this fine establishment are quite the contrary. They're bloody awful. So hopefully that all gets demolished soon. We did our best as we went along, and thank you for being so understanding with that. I'm sure that you know that I appreciate the more traditional things. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed your tour. Now I'm probably going to leave with you and not come back here until it reverts back to its normal ownership. The people here are quite clearly mad at what they have done here with this so-called contemporary art. Okay, so there's nothing relaxing about that for me, but maybe a little bit relaxing for you. But yeah, at least this tour, you got to actually touch these so-called pieces of art, and it must have been real great for you. So I believe, that's the end of this tour, and why don't we both leave together quite briskly? Okay, thank you. Cheerio.